My dearest Callias, with the grace of the gods, your missive reached me, and I was profoundly touched by its contents. The poem, The Mystic Revel Fades, which you so graciously shared, transported me to a realm where the ethereal dance of the divine intermingles with the mundanity of mortal affairs. It is a work of striking beauty, an exquisite portrayal of the Dionysian trance, where the stark contrast between the ephemeral mystic experience and the everyday world of business affairs finds perfect expression. As I pondered your poem's narrative, it led me to a contemplation that I now share with you. What if, my dear Callias, your daily business affairs were suffused with a touch of the divine? We all toil in the realm of worldly endeavors, exerting our efforts to navigate life's intricate tapestry. However, it is paramount to recognize that not all effort is equal. There exists one form of effort, perhaps familiar to you, where the heart finds no purpose, where the muse slumbers, and you strive without genuine motivation. Your true talents remain dormant, not engaged and unchallenged in this lifeless toil. And then, there is the other kind, an effort driven by an inspiring passion, a force that focuses your energies and bears the captivating beauty of the divine. This, my friend, is enthusiasm. Your poetic creation, this very poem, unequivocally attests to the realm in which your gifts find their home, the creation of beauty. Having been privileged to witness some of your artistic endeavors, I am assured that this is the path your talents are destined to follow. In light of this, I have decided to embark on a journey to Athens, arriving at the dawn of Bodromion. My intent is to discuss a potential venture that could see both you and your esteemed father become collaborators. The proposal I humbly present is the acquisition of a property in the heart of the Kerameikos, the renowned potter's quarter. I can supply the rich clay from my estate, an invaluable resource for the endeavor we envision. We shall employ skilled potters to mold vessels of elegance, and you, my dear Callias, shall grace them with your unique designs, transforming them into works of art. Then your father's shipping business may transport them to markets across the known world. In the coming days, we shall have the opportunity to delve into the finer details of this proposition. Until then, dear nephew, ponder this possibility and prepare your heart and mind for the grand venture that awaits us. As we embark upon the exploration of the world of the creation of beautiful things, it brings to mind a particular narrative shared with me by my Pelasgian companion during one of my visits. On this particular journey, our steps led us to a sheltered haven, a rock shelter that protected us from the capricious rain. Here, upon the rock's surface, a remarkable ochre painting met our eyes, portraying two enigmatic figures. One of these figures, poised in harmony with the strings of a lyre, serenaded the world with ethereal melodies. The other engaged in a curious dance, gripping two staffs, one in each hand. He bowed forward as though he were a four-legged creature, and a deer's visage adorned his being. Enamored by this enigma, I turned to my Pelasgian friend and beseeched him for enlightenment. With the wisdom of ages, he began to unfurl the tapestry of this peculiar artwork. The figure was dancing upon an animal hide, he recounted, and did so to soften it, to coax it from its rigid state into one of malleability. The other figure, with lyre in hand, graced this dance with an accompanying melody, weaving the enchanting notes of music into the fabric of this tactile artistry. Intrigued, I inquired as to why such a transformation was facilitated through dance. It was then that my Pelasgian friend recounted a tale that has dwelled in the collective memory of his people, the enchanting narrative of Jason and the quest for tanned leather. You, my dear Callias, are now aware from a previous missive of mine of the divine gift that Dionysos bestowed upon humanity. Seeking to grant us respite from the relentless toil of unearthing tubers, he birthed meat into the world, a bounty that could sustain hunter-gatherer groups for extended periods. The arrival of a grand game animal, felled by skilled hunters, provided temporary reprieve, permitting them to embrace the realm of culture and spirituality with newfound vigor. Now, let me transport you to the moment of creation when Dionysos endeavored to fashion the very first deer. His divine intentions faced an unexpected interruption. The mischievous badger people hunted there before this new work was finished, their impetuous and impatient nature prevailing. In witnessing this over-hasty behavior, Dionysos underwent a transformative epiphany. Originally, the plan had been to endow the deer with qualities of meekness, rendering it docile and effortlessly captured, thus bestowing upon humanity the convenience of sustenance. Yet, the badger's heedless endeavor revealed people's inherent recklessness. In light of this revelation, Dionysos decided to alter his design, allowing a degree of wildness to remain in the deer to intensify the challenge of the hunt. So, the spilled blood of the first deer formed an ochre deposit, using which Dionysos painted further deer into being, but deliberately leaving them with the wildness of the incomplete first deer. These deer retained the essence of the initial creation, being less suited for human use than had been the original plan. Hence, hide, as you well know, does not emerge in a state ready for our utilization. The original intention had been to grant the hide qualities that would render it soft, malleable, aesthetically pleasing, and simultaneously robust against the ravages of time and decay, untainted by rot, decay, desiccation, and flaking. The challenge of humanity lay in adapting these rugged hides, for the first of our kind were unable to craft garments that could withstand the inexorable march of time. Decay would lay claim to their creations with disheartening swiftness, casting a shadow upon their labor. One day, a man arrived at the sacred precinct of the Oracle of Dodona. This stranger's singular sandal piqued the curiosity of the priests and priestesses who dwelled in that hallowed place. For centuries, their ancient prophecies had foretold the advent of an individual who would arrive wearing just one sandal, a harbinger of a momentous boon destined for humanity. This man, whose name was Jason, had, during a recent hunting expedition, stepped into a meandering stream, saturating one of his sandals with water and accelerating its deterioration. The leather had grown rigid and burdensome, making it a discomforting companion. Choosing to rid himself of the cumbersome footwear, he arrived at the oracle wearing only one sandal and with a question that had weighed heavily on his heart, a question intertwined with the formidable challenges humanity encountered in working with animal hide. With determination etched upon his countenance, he addressed the priests and priestesses to present his inquiry. The prophetess entered her trance by invoking the spirits of the grove through incantations and fragrant offerings. As her consciousness shifted, she received the divine message and, in a voice guided by spiritual wisdom, delivered this answer. In Mars's grove where shows the dawn's first light, seek out the tree whose blood shall halt the blight. But heed the guardian serpent, use your stealth. Then dance upon the hide, unmake yourself. Return to days before the spoiling's curse, before the badger's crime had made things worse. With softened hide the wild deer shall be tamed. By wax of bees, from rain, the hide reclaimed. Jason, having called upon the mightiest of heroes to join him in his ambitious quest, gathered a legendary band of companions. Included amongst these was Theseus, celebrated for his heroic victory over the Minotaur. Perseus, renowned for his audacious triumph over the rain bull, also stood ready to lend his strength and skill. And Orpheus, the enchanting musician with the power to tame animals through his lyre, brought his unparalleled talents to the group. It was Orpheus, in particular, who intrigued both his companions and the Pelasgians. They believe Orpheus to be more than just a musician, they consider him a game sorcerer. His enchanting music was believed to tame game by hypnotizing them, making the hunt more efficient and successful, and his presence among the questers held a unique promise. Of those who waved the heroes off, the most tearful was Glyceria, a maiden who was not only blessed with unparalleled beauty but a heart as tender as the first rays of dawn. Her heart had found its match in Jason, and his in her. Their love was deep and passionate, an emotion that flowed as freely as a river to the sea. Yet, fate had cast a shadow upon their love. The maiden's parents, blinded by their own misconceptions and fears, refused to see the goodness that radiated from Jason's character. Their union was denied, a cruel twist of destiny that tore at their hearts. There was one incident in particular which had colored Glyceria's parents' view of Jason. On a fateful day, as he ventured into the wilderness, he aimed his arrow at a deer, believing it to be tipped with poison, provided by a man named Damocles. Little did Jason know that Damocles, harboring jealousy and desire for Glyceria, had deliberately supplied him with a non-poisoned arrow. In his quest to secure Glyceria's affections, Damocles aimed to undermine Jason's reputation and prove himself the worthier suitor. As Jason tracked the deer, the creature retained its strength and drew away, eluding capturing, rather than tiring and slowing due to poison. Jason was deemed an inept tracker after this, but Glyceria's parents Jason walked up to Glyceria before he parted, and they shared some treasured words. Glyceria gazed into Jason's eyes, her own filled with worry.
Must you really go, my love? I fear for your safety amidst such perilous quests. I wish you could stay here, away from danger.
Jason gently cupped her face and kissed her forehead. My dearest Glyceria, I embark on this journey not out of recklessness but with a sense of duty and the hope of bringing back knowledge that could benefit our people. I promise you, it will not be long until I return to your side. You will be constantly in my thoughts, and the image of your smile will guide me through the challenges that lie ahead. Our love will be my shield. Glyceria nodded, her heart still heavy but reassured by his words. She pressed her hand to his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart beneath.
Then promise me you'll return safely, and we'll cherish each moment together.
Jason placed his hand over hers, his expression filled with determination. I promise, my sweet Glyceria, for you and the love we share, I shall return to you unharmed. As the heroes ventured forth on their grand journey, Orpheus's recent adventures added to the enigma of his power. These recent events involved a jealous hyena and a beautiful nymph of Arcadia named Callisto, who was a devoted follower of the huntress goddess Artemis. You will be familiar with the hyena, Callias, from the writings of Herodotus. The envious hyena devised a wicked plan to rob Callisto of her human form and beauty. To achieve this, the cunning beast secretly added its own hyena milk to Callisto's food, unbeknownst to the nymph. The milk triggered a profound transformation within her, causing fur to sprout upon her once soft skin. She turned into a bear, her human reason fading away as she ventured into the wilderness to live among the creatures of the forest. One fateful day, as her son wandered in the forest, Callisto came upon him, oblivious to his true identity. She pursued the young boy relentlessly, driven by her wild instincts. Fortunately, the boy found his way back to a camp where Orpheus was playing his lyre, and a joyous dance was in full swing. The trance dancers present at the gathering, gifted with shamanic sight, perceived the nature of Callisto's ailment. With their healing skills and the mesmerizing music emanating from Orpheus's lyre, they collectively expelled the potent hyena essence from Callisto's body. In the glow of this mystical intervention, Callisto was transformed back into her human form, losing her wild demeanor. She recognized her beloved son, and they were joyously reunited. In honor of this captivating tale, the constellation of the Great Bear was placed in the celestial expanse, a symbol of a story that resonated deeply with the hearts of the Pelasgians. However, their interpretation of this constellation differs from that of our Greek astronomers, the latter seeing the plough as forming the hind part and a long tail, as if the creature resembles a squirrel more than a mighty bear. Instead, the Pelasgians adhere to their ancient memory. They say the Egyptians correctly recalled that the plough is a beast's foreleg, but they think the beast a bull, while the Greeks correctly recall that this constellation is a bear. The plough represents the foreleg of the bear, and the bear faces the other way from the orientation claimed by our Greek astronomers. With their diverse yet exceptional abilities and the extraordinary tales that followed them, Jason and his companions embarked on their mission, carrying with them the blessings and mysteries of both the heavens and the earth. Jason and his courageous companions embarked on their journey, heading due east to the mystical Grove of Mars. As the heroes ventured deeper into the grove, of their hearts pounding with anticipation, they beheld a magnificent teak tree standing tall at the grove's heart. Its gnarled bark, aged by countless seasons, whispered secrets of ancient wisdom. The realization dawned upon them that this colossal tree, its trunk resembling the bronzed muscles of a deity, was the source of the coveted blood they sought. However, as they approached the teak tree, the tranquil aura was shattered by a deafening hiss, a chorus of malevolent serpentine rage that filled the air. Coiled around the tree's mighty trunk, they saw the guardian serpent, a creature of nightmarish proportions. Its emerald scales glistened in the dappled sunlight filtering through the leaves, and its eyes gleamed with predatory intelligence. In a flurry of action, some of the brave heroes brandished their spears, their resolve mirrored in their stern expressions. With synchronized precision, they lunged at the serpent, seeking to pierce its armored hide. Their spears struck, but the serpent's scales proved resilient. The heroes were met with a disheartening resistance, their efforts falling short of subduing the guardian. The serpent hissed once more, venomous fangs gleaming, and the ground seemed to tremble under its wrath. The mighty beast had the upper hand, and it was clear that the confrontation had taken a dire turn. Desperation gripped the heroes as they realized that more than bravery and brawn would be needed to overcome this formidable guardian and claim the precious tree blood. Jason's eyes locked with those of his companions, a silent understanding passing between them. The time had come for another approach, one that called for a different kind of heroism, one guided by wisdom and insight, rather than sheer force. They turned to Orpheus, whose lyre had already proved to be a powerful tool in the face of adversity, hoping that his music could quell the serpent's fury. With bated breath, they awaited the magic of Orpheus's melodies to weave their enchantment, and a hush fell over the grove of Mars as the notes began to dance through the air, transcending mortal comprehension and reaching out to the heart of the serpent. The enchanting, harmonious notes that flowed from his instrument carried an otherworldly beauty which reached deep into the serpent's heart. The music wrapped around the guardian like a gentle breeze, subduing its ferocious nature. The serpent yielded to the mesmerizing tunes, allowing the heroes to approach the teak tree without hindrance. With reverence, they collected a portion of the tree's bark, knowing that it held the vital essence, the blood, mentioned in the oracle's prophecy. This precious extract was the key to their quest, the element that could turn rawhide into something that resisted the ravages of time and decay. As they departed, laden with this newfound treasure, the heroes were filled with hope and anticipation. Their journey had reached a critical juncture, and they were one step closer to achieving their quest, to make hides soft and usable, to transform the raw into the refined, and to bring about a profound change not only in materials but also in the hearts and souls of those they encountered. As they journeyed home, fortune favored them further. They successfully tracked and hunted a deer, providing them with fresh hide for their experimentation. Additionally, they managed to collect beeswax from nature's abundant offerings. These valuable resources would play a crucial role in their quest to transform rawhide into usable leather. Upon returning home, they set to work with determination. The deer's hide was skillfully skinned, and its surface was scraped, preparing it for the transformative process. The heroes then joined in a vibrant dance, circling around the hide, taking turns to dance upon it, holding two sticks with which they pummeled it. Orpheus, once again, took up his lyre, and his music resonated with the rhythms of the dance. Drums beat, hands clapped, and voices harmonized, creating an atmosphere of ritualistic ecstasy. As the dancers moved in unison, they entered a trance, transported back to a time before time, when the world was malleable, and change was the essence of existence. In this altered state, they harnessed the potent forces of transformation and willed that deer should be broken in, made tame in the most general sense, which they took to include how deer's hide would itself be broken in and made suitable for human use. As they emerged from their ecstatic trance, they noticed that the hide upon which they had danced was profoundly altered. It had become more supple and malleable, embodying a renewed quality of pliability and softness. Having soaked the teak bark in water, the next steps in their journey involved treating the hide with the blood of the teak tree and then rubbing it with beeswax, finalizing the alchemical process. The outcome was nothing short of miraculous. The raw hide had been transmuted into usable leather, resistant to the ravages of time and decay. It was not only functional but also aesthetically pleasing. The heroes, especially Jason, who had initially embarked on this journey due to a simple sandal mishap, took pride in their newfound appearance and sophistication. He now wore not one but two fine leather sandals that were comfortable to wear and pleasing to the eye. Clad in fine new leather clothes and sandals, Jason was now gazed upon in wonder by Glyceria's parents. The once unassuming lad had been transformed into a hero, his presence commanding respect and admiration. His deeds, courage, and the profound wisdom he had gained along the journey were evident in his every step. Glyceria's parents, their eyes now open to the true nature of the lad they had once opposed, felt an overwhelming change of heart. They welcomed him into their home, showered him with love, and happily embraced the union of their beloved daughter with the noble and heroic Jason. Love had triumphed over adversity. In the days that followed, the weight of Damocles's guilt bore down upon his conscience, and he could no longer bear the burden of his deceit. He confided in a trusted friend and, with a heavy heart, admitted the treacherous role he had played in Jason's unfortunate deer hunting incident. Recognizing the gravity of his actions, the friend felt compelled to reveal Damocles's confession to the entire group. The transformation in human society brought by the arrival of tanned leather extended beyond the change in their physical appearance. Having developed first a pride in how they looked, people started developing manners and etiquette, seeking to avoid causing offense and upset to one another in their actions as well as their appearance. The emergence of a more civilized demeanor brought an air of refinement to their society. Yet, in the eyes of the Pelasgians, the need to retain a connection with the primal was paramount. While they valued the benefits of civil behavior, they recognized that as a matter of course this will involve tensions created by necessary repressions. To address this, rather than seeking to end the repressions required of polite society, they continued their Dionysian trance dances on a regular basis, ensuring that these tensions could find release in the wild and spontaneous ecstasy of the dance. They are not direct with each other but would rather maintain societal harmony, leaving the release of tensions for their curing dances. To the Pelasgians, the cycle of returning to the early time, before the world stiffened by means of the dance and then re-embracing civility is essential. They believe it not only maintains their sense of balance but also helps prevent disease and discord. Through my experiences with these remarkable people, I have learned that the Dionysian trance dance is not a mere initiation but a vital practice, something to be observed at least 4 times a moon. They recognize the profound equivalence between the transformation of hide through dance and the transformation of individual and group. Through the dance they aim to become wild in the immediate term precisely so they may grow more civil in the long term. And thus, the hero's quest for leather had not only brought about a profound transformation in the material world, but also in the hearts and souls of the Pelasgian people, reminding them of the delicate balance between civilization and the wild, and the necessity of embracing both. In that far grove, where daylight's first rays gleam, the emerald serpent guards the ancient tree, then Orpheus lures the creature into dream, with lyre strings plucked in sweetest harmony. The heroes dance on skins with rhythmic pace, producing finest leather from raw hide, a labor leading them to artful grace, producing substance radiant with pride. I have indeed found the Pelasgians to be civilized, for, like us, they understand the value of democracy. As Athenians, we often pride ourselves on being the pioneers of democracy in the grand context of city-states. We have indeed devised a system that allows a metropolis to function democratically. Yet, upon my encounter with the Pelasgians, I am compelled to acknowledge that their democratic traditions are deeply rooted and have stood the test of time. What we have managed to accomplish on a larger scale, they have perpetuated in the intimate setting of their hunter-gatherer communities. Their new and crucial decisions are made only after long group discussions, with men and women participating equally in the deliberative process. The Pelasgians refuse to tolerate the presence of haughty, domineering egotists for even the briefest of moments. In this regard, their approach is akin to our own in Athens, where we mock and satirize our politicians in the comedic performances upon our stages. They too bring low the haughty with mockery. It is evident to me that the Pelasgians' profound belief in democracy is a common thread that binds our societies together. Athenians and Pelasgians share this fundamental principle, even though we Athenians are yet to achieve the same level of gender equality that is seamlessly integrated into the fabric of Pelasgian culture. Their accomplishments and practices in this regard are a testament to their advanced civilization. As a parting note, I must once again turn to the heartfelt sentiments you conveyed in your exquisite poem, describing the profound sadness that washes over you when leaving the trance dance and returning to the ordinary world. However, I would ask you, dear Callias, to consider the Pelasgians and their remarkable ability to emerge from these ecstatic dances feeling rejuvenated, and with a newfound zeal for the civilized world, their spirits purged of the tensions that might otherwise tarnish it. I propose that, as well as the nature of your current work, it may also be the manner in which you break your fast after these sacred ceremonies that holds the key to this transformation. Your fasting, enduring for a full day and night, culminating in the celebration of dawn through the trance dance, is indeed a powerful and transformative ritual. Yet, the way you break your fast is of paramount importance. I would strongly urge you to begin with foods such as fish, meat, cheese, thick yogurt and nuts for your first and second meals upon breaking the fast. Only in the evening should you introduce items like bread, heavy vegetables, and sweet treats. Personally, I have found that following this dietary practice is essential to ensuring a harmonious transition free from lethargy, disquiet, and frustration. It is no different from the way the Pelasgians operate, who believe that the end of a fast can be less than ideal if not approached with care and consideration, and indeed for long millennia. The natural fast has been the hunt, when hunters took little sustenance with them and went off for days, with the fasting naturally concluding with the meat of that which they hunted, which they ate with zeal and cast aside the relatively unpalatable tubers that had sustained them till then. I kindly ask you to try this approach and let me know if it proves beneficial. In closing, I have shared with you the remarkable story of how tan leather came into existence, and why the Pelasgians hold Jason in such high regard as a culture hero. May our correspondence continue to enrich our understanding of these fascinating matters. I look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. Give my love to your mother and father. Pseudo-Hesiod.